Okay, so now it's time to make up the circuit to power out our LED from the USB. Basically we've got LED at one end and a USB plug at the other end, and in between we've got a few electronic components. Now those components are connected together using a connector block, sometimes called a chocolate block. So let's see what we have to do first of all. Look at the chocolate block. You've got little brass blocks in there with screws that go in. There's 2 screws in each one that connects the wires together. What you need to do first is to go to adjacent connections, loosen the screws on the end too, like that. And you'll see there's a gap in there now. You can get the wires in there. Take the wires from the other end of your USB lead and just fold them over a bit so they're a little bit thicker. Put the black one in the end. Hold it in there. It's a little bit fiddly. Hold it in there and do the screw up. That's okay. And the same with the red one on the next connector. Now they should be reasonably tight in there. If you pull it really hard you'll break the wire, so be gentle with it. Right, now the next thing we need is to have a look at the components. There are only 2 components in this. The first one is a diode. Now a diode is like a one-way valve for electricity. It only allows electricity to flow this way, not back again. We put that in there just as a safety precaution in case something goes wrong and it might damage the computer or damage the USB source. The diode has got a little silver stripe on one end. It flows towards that end, so it's got to go in the right way around. It's what we call polarity sensitive. Now the diode comes on a strip like this. Take it off and bend the legs so you've got like a U shape. Put it in the correct way round in the other end of the connector where the red one goes, and then into the next one along. So basically the middle 2 on the opposite side, so it's there and there. Now the legs on the diode are a bit longer than we need, so we're going to cut those off, and we'll use the wire cutters, putting them in there and cut it off I'll cut about 10mm off the end, will probably do. Right, let's put that in there. Do up the screw just as we did before, and the same on the other one. Notice which way round the stripe is. The silver stripe is pointing away from the red lead. Check it's in there properly, and then just bend it out the way so it's against the top of the connector block, because you might have to put this in a hole. Right, the other component also comes packaged in the same way. That's called a resistor. This is a 100 ohm resistor. Now a resistor restricts the flow of electricity. The USB gives 5 volts and the LED requires 3.6 volts, and this just loses those extra few volts. So what we need to do is exactly the same as we did for the diode, except this is not polarity sensitive, so it doesn't matter which way round it goes. That's going to go in the opposite side of the diode and then in the end one. So I'm going to bend it the same way, bend the legs down the same way, open up the 2 screws, which in this case they are, and might better push those in there, yeah, sort of. If not, I cut them off. So do that one up, check it's tight, which it is, and then do that one. Doesn't matter about which way around it goes, this is not polarity sensitive. Fold it up against the screw shrouds there. Right, the next thing we need to do is to connect the LED. Now you will need to do this after you've made your lamp, because the wire for the LED, it's this double core wire, sometimes called shotgun cable because it's got 2 barrels, and also sometimes it's called speaker cable. Just open them out a bit at the end, and then you need to strip the PVC coating off the copper wire. You can probably just see the copper wire in there by my finger. So you take the wire strippers to do that. These are called dinosaur wire strippers, so they look like a dinosaur. Put the wire in the end, so you've got about 8mm beyond the jaws inside like that. Squeeze the handles together and you'll find it will strip the plastic off the outside but leave the copper intact inside, the copper strands inside intact. Same for the other one. Now, because those are lots and lots of little strands of copper, just twist them together between your fingers to stop them spreading out. You'll notice one of the sides of the cable has got a black stripe on it. Connect that one to the black wire of your USB lead. In exactly the same way as you did before. It is a bit fiddly, but you've got fingers as well, you can manage. And then the other one will go to the other end, the resistor end. And there we are. And of course now we notice that the red one's come out, so we have to fix that first of all. So unscrew that, poke the wire back in there, and do it up again. Okay, so that's made your connector block for your LED. The connections at the other end of this wire to the LED will depend on how you've designed your lamp, and we'll cover that later.